So in this video, I'll be talking about RAG, which is Retrieval-Augmented Generation. And RAG has become very popular in past few years, and the reason is that it's actually able to solve the problem that LLMs have. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at why LLMs actually need RAG and what is a typical RAG pipeline. And we'll also try to build a complete RAG pipeline from scratch. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So, firstly, we'll go through the problems that exist with LLMs today. So, we'll take a look at a example to understand this. So, let's suppose you are a company and you are hiring someone, and you hire a person who's brilliant, who has all the knowledge from internet, has read all of the internet, has gone through all of the Wikipedia pages, and knows everything. But on hiring date, you lock this person inside a room without any outside world access or any internet access, and a month later you ask him questions like, what was the news yesterday? Then this person might not be able to answer because he was not aware or he did not have any access to internet to get that information. And this is actually the problem of knowledge cutoff with LLMs. So LLMs are trained on data up to a certain date, and that is why if you ask them questions which require live data results, then they might not be able to come up with an appropriate answer. How RAG solves it is that it retrieves fresh docs for each query every time and is able to get the more accurate or more appropriate answer. So next, problem of hallucination. So imagine asking this person questions like, what were the sales of the company in past month? So again, because he was locked in a room, did not have any access to internet, he doesn't actually knows the data, but he might be able to come up with some answer based on his previous knowledge of company's monthly sales, right? But that wouldn't be an actual answer. That would be just a estimated answer or a fact that he just built up. And this is what LLMs also try to do. They try to come up with a or invent a fact when they don't actually know an answer, and this is called hallucination. So how RAG fixes it is that it actually gets the relevant documents and grounds the answer instead of just building up facts. Third is no access to private data. So now again, if you ask this person that you hired about the parental leave policy of the company, so again, because he did not have any access, he doesn't have any information around company's policies, so he might not be able to come up with the accurate answer. And this is the problem with LLMs, because LLMs don't really have access to company's personal data. They are not able to answer questions which are very specific to some domain or some company specifically. And how RAG fixes it is that it will actually retrieve a document which has this relevant information and be able to give that information to the user. So now coming to what exactly is RAG. So here there are three terms in RAG: retrieval, augmentation, and generation. And in this definition, I'll actually break down all of these parts. Right. So first, let's take a look at this definition, which is from the original RAG paper. It says takes an input query, retrieves a set of relevant supporting documents from an external knowledge source, and feeds both query and the retrieved context to an LLM to generate a grounded, accurate response. Okay. So first part is takes an input query, which is basically your input prompt, retrieves a set of relevant supporting documents. This is the retrieval part of RAG, right? From an external knowledge source. Knowledge source can be a vector database, any API call, or any other database. It takes in both query and the context that it retrieved from the supporting documents and feeds both of them to LLMs so that it's able to come up with an accurate response, right? And RAG is particularly useful in knowledge intensive scenarios or domain specific applications where it requires knowledge that's continuously being updated, right? So now let's take a look at a typical RAG pipeline. So I have broken this down into three different stages. One is the pre-retrieval stage, which is the data preparation stage. The other one is the data retrieval stage. And the third one is the augmentation, which is the post-retrieval stage. So in pre-retrieval stage, what happens is that we have lots of documents, the company's private internal documents. You can imagine building a HR assistant system, which I'll be using as an example also later on in this notebook to demo how to build a RAG pipeline. So imagine you are building an HR assistant chatbot, and you will have like lots of documents which will be in either PDF, Excel, docs, anything. Then the first thing that we do is chunking. So chunking is basically splitting all of those documents into smaller pieces. After the chunking is done, embeddings are created for each of these chunks. So what are embeddings? Embeddings basically encode the meaning from each of the chunks and put it in a n-dimensional vector space. So all those chunks which have similar meaning will be very close together in that n-dimensional vector space, right? So this is what is embeddings, and these embeddings are then fed into a vector database. What is a vector database? It's a database which allows you to store embeddings, and you can perform semantic search on these databases, which is unlike our traditional databases where you perform keyword based search and it returns the response based on exact keyword matches. In vector databases, it returns responses which are similar to the query that you made, similar in meaning basically. So if I am trying to search for artificial intelligence, then I might get chunks which have mentions of machine learning or generative AI as well, because they are similar in meaning to artificial intelligence. So now coming to the data retrieval part of it. So when the input query or the prompt is given, that prompt is also converted to an embedding. And then that embedding is basically used for searching in that vector database to come up with the relevant documents for this particular query. So it will try to find all the documents which are closer to this particular query in the embeddings vector space, right? And it will finally return with the relevant documents. Once we have all those relevant documents, this is then fed to the augmentation layer, where the augmentation layer actually takes in the original prompt, adds in the context or the relevant documents that we actually retrieved in this data retrieval step, and then passes this to the LLM and is able to generate an output which is more relevant and more accurate. So now let's take a look at how to create a RAG pipeline from scratch. So here I have just installed few dependencies from Python, and in this we'll be actually building a company HR assistant chatbot that answers questions from a company's HR handbook. And a regular LLM doesn't really knows your company's specific policies, but RAG can fix that problem. So here I have taken a list of some company policies. I have hard coded all of these in actual AI use cases. These will actually be some docs in form of PDFs, Excel, or docs, anything. Right. So here, for the sake of simplicity, I have just taken it in the form of a list. Then the next step that we do is in pre-retrieval part that we just saw above is document chunking. So here I am using fixed size chunking, where I'm defining a chunk size of 200, which basically means that it will be breaking down each text into 200 words and chunking it based on that. There are a lot of different chunking strategies like sentence based chunking strategy, wherein you can chunk based on particular sentences. There are strategies like paragraph based chunking, wherein you chunk based on paragraphs, and there are semantic search, chunking strategies where you chunk based on semantic content. Basically, the similar content you keep in one chunk and other similar content you put in the other chunks. So all the similar content remains in one chunk. So this method basically is creating chunks of size 200 and going through all of these documents and finally coming up with the chunk. And here I'm just printing the chunk size for each of the chunks that were created. Next step in the pre-retrieval step is creating the embeddings. Here I'm using sentence transformer, but you can use any other embedding model that you want. Here I have printed some values from embeddings for you to see how actually embeddings look like. So this is from the vacation policy and this is how it looks like. So you can print it and see it. Next step is the retriever step. So in the retriever step, basically, what I'm doing is that firstly we need to create the embedding for the query that we have at hand. So this is the embedding model that we defined here, and we are just creating the embedding for this query. And here I'm calculating the cosine similarity. I'm not actually using a vector database. I'm using cosine similarity to compare the meanings of the query with the chunk embeddings, so that I'm able to retrieve similar content related to the query that I made. And here basically it's trying to retrieve the top k most relevant chunks which are similar to the query that I made. Here are some test queries which is being passed to this retrieve method, and you can see the output from this. So query was, how many vacation days do I get? The best match is the vacation and time off policy. And here I have also mentioned the score, like how confident the LLM is saying that vacation and time off policy is the best match. So it says 0.657, right? And can I work from another country? So it says remote work policy with a lower score. It's not very sure about this. Next is the augmentation, wherein you'll be taking in the retrieved context and combining it with the original prompt and then sending that to an LLM so that it's able to answer more appropriately, right? So here is the actual prompt for an HR assistant, and you'll be adding in the context, basically the policy documents and the query, which is your actual query, right? This is basically the retrieved context that you got from the retrieval part. Here I'm printing what prompt it created after augmentation. So this was the prompt to this HR assistant, and here is the context. So this entire thing is then actually fed to an LLM to be able to get the answer from LLMs. So in this section, I have created a full RAG pipeline which does retrieval, augmentation, and generation. So retrieval part is basically retrieving the relevant documents related to the query that we are making, and augmentation part will build the prompt that we need to feed to the LLM, and it will put up the context that or the relevant documents that we received from this retrieval step along with the original question. And then generation part will actually make a call to the model. So here the rack pipeline is ready, and if you run this rack pipeline method and provide the question, it will be able to get an appropriate answer. Here I have also tried to compare RAG versus non-RAG response for the same LLM. So without RAG, you can see it responds with, I'm just an AI, I don't have access to specific company policies or information. However, I can provide general information about parental leave policies. But with RAG, it's actually able to come up with an actual answer saying that, okay, this is the parental leave policy for secondary caregivers, etc., etc. I hope you got to learn something from this video. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments below. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.